Happy Friday. Welcome to the Burn Down with Kim Brown Friday edition. I am so excited to see y'all's very specific faces up in the face. Of course, you guys know that Burn Down with Kim Brown is a safe space where we set oppression ablaze in the belief, in the true hope that something greater will arise from the ashes. We say fuck all the isms, fuck your racism, fuck your sexism, fuck your misogyny wall, fuck your transphobia, fuck your homophobia, fuck your bitch assness in general. And guys, you know, we have a really big show today. Of course, you know, we had a little bit of movement on the channel this week. Our Tuesday show has seemingly blown up just a tiny bit. Some people seem to be a little upset with some of the comments that were made on the Tuesday program. And not to mention that our clip that went viral, over 120,000 views on Twitter, at least. I don't know what the fuck it did other places. But we are gonna take a moment to acknowledge Molly. Everybody say thank you, Molly, for doing such an amazing job of pulling a clip of what she and I both thought was a very uncontroversial take about looting all that shit after a black or brown person is shot down, killed by the state, with seemingly no justice forthcoming, and a very good possibility that it's going to happen again to another black or brown person in the future, in the near future, which we have already seen. So we've got some things coming up on the show. I am going to address the fucking pieces of shit who have crawled their way on our channel. And listen, guys, I have no idea what today's chat is going to look like, because the comments on Tuesday's video look absolutely horrendous. It is abysmal. And these dicks are fucking up my like to dislike ratio. Have you seen this chicanery? We had our field goal percentage, our shooting percentage was bomb, shorty. And now these bammers came up here and messed up our whole like to dislike ratio. So at y'all convenience, if you guys are able, please go back and just hit some likes on some of these videos. Shake these trolls off of my stellar good name out here. And again, I don't know if the troll army is going to be joining us today. And of course, you know, Genevieve and Molly, they are holding us down on the social media front and moderation front. So Genevieve and Molly, this message is for you. If you see a troll, smack a troll. Don't even let that motherfucker get two more comments in. And I want y'all to do just like Dikembe Mutombo.
No problem.
Not in my house. No. Not today.
Listen, Molly and Genevieve, when you kick a troll out this chat, I want you to wave the finger at them too. I want you to wave the finger at your keyboard and say, no, not today, not in my house. So go on full Mutombo on these trolls. We are not playing no foolishness. We do not need no disturbances in the force in our harmonious community that we have here today. But guys, before, like I said, we're going to get into that shit later. Also coming up later, I got an invitation to go on a prominent conservative show, and amongst the team, the discussion amongst the team, we are not fully in agreement. So I wanted to kick it to y'all. And because the truth of the matter is, I would only make this appearance on this person's program if y'all thought it was okay. And I mean that because I don't give a fuck about these fucking conservatives. These niggas think I'm trying to debate them. All they want to do is debate my humanity. No, we don't have time for that in 2021. Negatory. But y'all know YouTube is 100% a numbers game. So this would just be a numbers boosting opportunity. I am not here to try to go on and debate conservatives because I have far more better things to do with my time. And it is a pointless exercise to try to debate them because they don't know the history of this country. They don't know shit about this country. And so you're operating from a deficit, right? People are not debating in good faith because they're too ignorant. They don't know anything. So I'm not interested in doing that per se, but maybe this person's platform, y'all might be okay with me doing that. So we'll talk about that towards the end of the show. But to start off the show, we would be so remiss if we did not acknowledge what is happening in Chicago and also what is continuing to happen in the Twin Cities. The video, body cam video, was released yesterday from Chicago Police's encounter with 13-year-old Adam Toledo. Now, guys, you remember that we talked about what happened to Adam when it happened. This was at the beginning of the month. Was that first week of April? Last week of March? That sounds about right. What happened was, allegedly, at least according to police reports, Adam was in the vicinity where shots were being fired. And police apparently spotted him, gave chase. They said initially that he had a gun in his hand. Well, the body cam video that was released yesterday shows very clearly that Adam was hands up, palms out. He had nothing in his hands. And the cop shot him point blank in the chest, killing him. 13 years old, 13 years old. You know, Little Village in Chicago is a diverse area. It is Hispanic, Latino, anybody out there? Oh man, who is that? What's up, Dan Sneed? Thank you for the $10. What's up? We appreciate that. Slaps the invite away. You're hilarious. So, you know, Chicago police, this is not the first time that they have killed a child, and also not the first time that they have attempted to cover up said murder of a child. 2015, 17-year-old Laquan McDonald. Was Laquan 17? I think that's right. He was a teenager. Laquan McDonald was shot more than a dozen times by Chicago police. And Chicago police claimed that Laquan was carrying a knife and lunged at them. Well, and in order to make sure that that version of the story stuck, the police took great pains, including confiscating surveillance footage from a nearby fast food restaurant. That again, they lied about doing that. But when it was all said and done, the video came out. A cop ended up in jail. He's in jail right now for Laquan's murder. And this name of the Chicago police officer has not yet been released. But the power system, the political power system, and even the media power system in Chicago was already making up stories, the excuses, the reasons as to why this cop was justified in shooting a 13-year-old child in the chest. I want us to take a listen, if we could, from Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot. And, you know, Lori Lightfoot is hella problematic. How did she get elected mayor of Chicago? Can somebody explain that to me, please? She did not do a good job of handling the COVID outbreak. Well, nobody did apparently, but that's not an excuse. Everybody did shitty. That's okay if Lori did shitty. No, it's not okay that Lori did shitty just because everybody else did shitty. She got into a huge fight with the Chicago Teachers Union about reopening schools too soon. And lo and behold, the Chicago Teachers Union has proven to be justified correct that COVID cases are up amongst school-age children, partially because of schools reopening. Who could have seen that coming? Who would have foresaw that if you open schools while most people have not been vaccinated, while the virus continues to mutate into more contagious versions of itself, who would have thought that, yes, even kids would catch this virus? See, these motherfuckers be listening to that Donald Trump school of epidemiology, and that is not the way to go, but I digress. We're going to hear from Lori Lightfoot real quick, guys, because Lori Lightfoot knew what time it was. She knew that once that video, that body cam footage was released, she knew that people were going to take to the streets justifiably. How many more children are the police going to kill? I mean, have they met their quota for 2021? I mean, are we good at one, or do more children need to be shot and killed by the police? Tunde, let's hear what Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot had to say after the release of the Adam Toledo murder video.
And simply put, we failed Adam. And we cannot afford to fail one more young person in our city. We must do everything we can also to eliminate the scourge of firearms from our city. Every year, the Chicago Police Department recovers more guns than New York and LA combined. Not because we have a better strategy, not because we pay more attention, but because we have too many damn guns on our streets. And simply put, we failed at it.
To officer murders of civilians, we're not going to call them officer involved shootings anymore. Officer murders of civilians. The police lie so much, you can't take their word when they say that he had a gun. Now they're saying he had a gun in proximity. Okay, well, first, the gun was in his whole hand. And so which is it? I need y'all to pick a lie and stick with that lie, if at all possible. I see Jean in the comments said, who gave us $5? Thank you so much for that. I didn't even notice that. Hold on. Let me go back and thank the person. I like to thank y'all for hitting us with super chats. What's up, Rosa Elba? Thank you, dear. Your support is very much appreciated. I appreciate your generosity so much. Jean in the comments says that they released the cop's name and that apparently he has 4 excessive complaints already against him. Am I still muted? Nope, I'm not muted. Okay, good. Am I still muted? Can you guys hear me? Okie dokie. I don't hear you. Okay, lovely. Okay, wonderful. Either Molly or Genevieve, if they have released the name of the cop's name, if they have released that, would y'all slack it to me at your convenience? And okay, you guys can hear me fine. Wonderful. Y'all are lovely. Thank you guys so much. I'm seeing all my all-stars in here. What's up, Courtney, the SLP? What's up, Alicia? What's up, Chuck Diesel? Look at all my all-stars. Stanley Steve is in the building. What's up, Gasha? Schultze 100. Miss Looney. Thank you, darling. Miss Looney said Foot is not addressing the real issue here. Correctamundo. The issue here is not guns. The issue here is the fucking cops shooting unarmed people. And for the cops to say that this young man was armed, Adam Toledo, I'm not gonna call him a young man, he's a child, he's 13, he's in middle school, for fuck's sake. We don't believe you. You need more people, because all y'all do is lie. All y'all do is try to tailor the narrative to fit your version of events to make you not look bad. Well, you know what? That jig is way up, baby. That jig is sky high. Nigga, nobody believes the cops. So I don't even understand why did they keep on insisting on lying to us and playing in our faces. It's tragic. It is tragic. What's up? First, last, first. What's going on? Lightfoot is a cop. Totally. Oh my gosh. I saw someone on social media talk about, Lori Lightfoot seemingly just being bad at her job, period, when she was mayor. But apparently the position she held before being elected mayor, she was the head of the Citizens Advisory Board over like police oversight. I'm probably not getting the name correct, but y'all get what I'm saying. She was doing that for Chicago. Badly, by the way. I want us to play another clip if we could. So today was crazy. I was doing random things, but I didn't get a chance to pull like a lot of the protest footage, right, out of Chicago. They was out there, but they was out there in the streets big time. I pulled one clip of an activist reading off the names of police who have excessive force complaints against them, who have brutality complaints against them, because the Fraternal Order Police, the Chicago Police Union, they work very hard to make sure that those disciplinary records are kept under seal. And how terrifying is it, y'all? As a person in this country, minding your business, understanding that law enforcement are targeting your black and brown self, chances are, And to know that there are whole ass psychopaths on the police squad carrying guns, carrying tasers, carrying all the powers, all the arrest powers, all the powers to take away your freedom. And these motherfuckers are criminals themselves. Thugs who assault, who beat, who sexually assault, who commit domestic violence. It's terrifying that these police have all these protections. And we are just supposed to accept it. But see, that's the thing. We don't accept it. And that's why they are so mad. Because the status quo, that shit's done, baby. It's the 21st century. We off that. We off all of that. Off all of it. One thing that caught my attention, qualified immunity rescinded in New Mexico. Steely Steve, that's a story. That's a story, Steely Steve. We're going to get on that. We're going to get on that. Qualified immunity rescinded in New Mexico. We are going to hop upon all over that. Hold on. My squad has updated me with some information. Be right with y'all. That's a big deal in New Mexico. New Mexico, congratulations. We're very proud of y'all for getting the shit done. Okay, so the police officer who has been named in killing Adam Toledo is named Eric Stillman. He was released 1 hour ago. His name was released 1 hour ago, Jean-Pierre. He wasn't in custody. The news, understood. Thank you very much, Jean-Pierre. Eric Stillman, y'all, Officer Eric Stillman. Can't wait to see his picture. Again, let me not make too many assumptions here, but I can assume that the cop was all the way in the fucking wrong. I mean, that's not an assumption. That is my common good sense, my good common sense, and the fact that the video was released. So we already know that this nigga is way, way wrong. Nick, what's up, Nick? Nick says the lizard people are fucking with your audio today, sis, but still love your fire. Thank you, my darling. You are so generous and kind. Thank you so much, Nick, for supporting the show. One of the things that the lizard people was over in the comments saying on the other video, y'all, first of all, they were saying a lot of things, right? One of the things that they said that I found a bit curious was they trotted out this same old conservative talking point about how proportionately whites are killed more by the police. And how come us Black Lives Matter people, because everybody black apparently is in Black Lives Matter or Antifa, right? How come y'all don't say the names of the white people who get killed by the police? No, bitch, why don't y'all say the names? Like, I'm so puzzled, just astounded by this. Like, racists want black people to do the work for them like all the time. The issue of police violence is not contained exclusively to the black and brown community. If police are killing white people, then I think white people should be upset. I think white people should be pissed off. I think white people should be in the fucking streets, right? All these lizard people, I'm gonna roll with Nick's terminology on this, because I think lizard people is a suitable fine term for all them jackasses in my comments over at the last video. Like, if y'all are so upset about the Black Lives Matter movement or how much attention that black or brown victims of police violence get compared to white victims, then why don't you say their names? Hashtag, make a fucking hashtag. Like, again, don't expect us to pick up the mantle for you. But you know why that they don't lift up the names of white people killed by police? Because at the end of the day, they don't care. They are Blue Lives Matter. At the same time, they are fuck Blue Lives Matter as part of the January 6th insurrection, which is, you know, a delicious hypocrisy that I love to indulge in weekly. that y'all are tremendously hypocritical here. You want to comply with the police? Well, why didn't they just comply? Nigga, I saw damn near 1,000 white men at the Capitol absolutely not complying, absolutely looting the United States Capitol. Didn't they rob Nancy Pelosi on her laptop? And they're going to get mad at me for saying something about looting? The audacity, the ultimate audacity. But let me circle back. Hold on. I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. Let me get up here real quick. Okay. getting back to white victims of police violence, since for some reason conservative media is not interested in saying the names of white victims of police violence, I am going to do so, because we had an incident here in Maryland this week, y'all. It happened in Southern Maryland. I wouldn't say that this is rural, but I guess it's rural compared to where I live. And here's what happened. Actually, I have a clip that we're going to play, but I want you guys to know the name Peyton Ham. His name is Peyton Ham. I hope I'm saying his name correctly. I'm pretty sure I am. There was a 16-year-old white boy shot and killed by police this week by Maryland State troopers outside of his house. And I don't know if it even made a blip on conservative media circles. Now, I don't know if y'all know, because I don't expect y'all to be traversing in conservative media circles, nor do I. But I do know that there are a bunch of fucking hypocrites. And I'm pretty sure that the name Peyton Ham has not been mentioned by conservatives, because they don't give a shit, really. They just mad that we won't lift up Peyton's name. Well, I'm gonna lift up Peyton's name right now. And today, if you could, I want us to take a peek at C2. What we're about to see is a package from the NBC affiliate in DC, NBC for Washington. Reporter Shamari Stone. I have a tremendous amount of respect for Shamari Stone. Shamari Stone be getting out there in the streets. He's a fine reporter. And towards the end of his package, Shamari Stone gives y'all a lot of food for thought, because basically the state troopers' accounting of what happened, it doesn't seem to match the evidence, nor does it seem to match what eyewitnesses said, as Shamari spoke to an eyewitness in this piece. So I want you guys to see if you can spot the inconsistencies here and ask yourselves also, have conservative media, have conservative whites raised up the name of this 16-year-old white child who was shot and killed by cops? Or do they not care? My guess is that they don't care. Tune in. Let's take a look at that package, please.
Chopper 4 hovers above a shooting scene in Leonardtown. A Maryland State Police trooper shot and killed 16-year-old Peyton Ham outside this white home with a yellow-colored driveway.
It's a little scary.
Jean Kennedy Combs lives across the street from the shooting scene. She heard shots fired.
It was like boom, 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 pause, boom, 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 boom.
Police tell us this all started when authorities received 2 911 calls reporting someone acting suspicious with what appears to be a gun. The trooper arrived at the driveway located a couple buildings away from the Maryland State Police Leonardtown Barrack on the 23,000 block of Hollywood Road.
So a uniformed Maryland State trooper arrived at the location and confronted a male in the driveway. The male was armed with a gun and a knife.
Colonel Jerry Jones III says a witness told police the 16-year-old was in a shooting stance and allegedly pointed a gun at the trooper.
The trooper fired at the male, wounding him. A second witness has told investigators that after the trooper fired the first time, they saw the male pull out a knife and tried to get up.
The trooper allegedly ordered the teen to drop the knife and fired again. Medics drove Peyton Ham to a hospital where he died. Police say they recovered an airsoft gun that looked like a handgun and a knife in the driveway. Police are investigating how many shots were fired. Chopper 4 captured 15 yellow evidence markers. And I want to show you something interesting in relation to what allegedly happened here. You look right across the street. That is where the shooting occurred, outside of that home. Now you see where I'm at here? Take a quick walk with me. There are bullet holes on this building across the street where police have marked it. You can see that one. It says 1C with a hole. Come over here, and there's another one that says 1B. And a bullet hit this other house, shattering a window. Why are bullet holes across the street?
That's part of the investigation. I can't speak to that at this point.
The Maryland State Police Homicide Unit is investigating. Officials have not released the name of the trooper. He was not hurt. He's on paid administrative leave, which is standard procedure.
Shamari Stone asked the questions. The shit don't add up. the eyewitness said that she heard boom, 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 and then boom, boom, boom. The young man, Peyton Ham, allegedly had this airsoft gun, which of course is a BB gun for all intents and purposes, and a knife. So when the police statement says that the officer shot Peyton and he fell, he had to have fallen, right? And that he still had the knife in his hand and was trying to get up. Well, nigga, where did you shoot him? Like, did you shoot him in the foot? Like, or did you shoot him? Like, how was this man or this teenager getting back up after you shot him at least once? So you're saying that even after shot, he was still trying to attack you with a knife? Doesn't make sense. And as you heard Shamari Stone ask the questions at the end of the piece, dog, there's bullet holes across the street. How the fuck did the bullet holes get all the way across the street? And this was just one cop. So there's a lot of questions there. But for anybody, and I don't think we have any trolls in here. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, God, for preserving the sanctity of our chat room today. But if the trolls are watching this shit later, let me ask you a question. I'm talking about Peyton Ham. Is Laura Ingraham talk about Peyton Ham? Is Tucker Carlson talk about Peyton Ham? Is that unfortunate looking person from the Daily Caller who put me on blast? Is that person talking about Peyton Ham? No. So don't come over here and expect Black people to do your work for you. If you're disturbed or upset about white people being unjustifiably killed by police, you make their name trend. You turn their name into a hashtag. You start that movement. You get in the streets. You show up at the precinct. Because it's not like we don't care. We care more than y'all care. We know the names of these white victims. Shout out to David Silberg and Courtney, the SLP in the chat, talked to me about Daniel Shaver, a man in Texas who begged police to shoot him and they obliged. The fuck? If conservative racists are okay with police showing up to their houses to shoot down their, I'm assuming perhaps teenager who was having a mental health episode, are you okay with that? Ask yourself, conservative person who is probably not watching or hate watching. I mean, let's keep it a buck. Fuck Dr. Spot. Y'all still talking about Redman. I'm trying to talk about some serious stuff. Okay, guys, let's pivot then. Let's pivot then. You know, we absolutely send our condolences out to the family of Peyton Ham, to the family of Adam Toledo, and of course to the family of Duante Wright. And you know, here on Burn It Down with Kim Brown, we will keep you apprised of the cases of people who have been murdered by police, Black, white, Latinx, Indigenous, Asian. I want to know them. Because I almost said all lives matter. Well, all lives do matter. But Black lives matter. But if it's, we're talking in regards to police brutality, no. We need to know those names. And they need not be omitted. And white conservative people need to also lift up the names of those in their community who have been the victims of police brutality and police violence. Moving along, guys. So the issue with the trolls in the video, the clip that went viral Wednesday, I'm trying to remember like exactly how did I become aware that this thing was a thing? Oh, I think it was Wednesday. I woke up and I was confused as to the status of my mentions. I said, wait a second, my mentions appear to be in shambles. Something has transpired on the interwebs, unbeknownst to me. And come to find out that what I thought was an innocuous clip talking about looting the Target, looting Advanced Auto Parts, burning down Dollar Tree, burn that shit down. I didn't think that it was a controversial take, considering that Europeans have been looting on this continent since day one, since the first day that they stepped foot on North America. Them motherfuckers immediately commenced the looting. So the amount of anger and vitriol that I was receiving from the fans of the Daily Caller and whoever the fuck else, I was confused. I'm like, do y'all not know your history? And let me explain something also. In addition to that, there is not a single piece of merchandise or a cumulative store full of merchandise, full of Dollar Tree merchandise, full of Target merchandise, full of Advanced Auto Parts merchandise that is worth the life of Duante Wright. Ain't nothing in none of them damn stores worth the life of George Floyd. Duante Wright. None of that. No, burn all them bitches down, because the cumulative value of all that retail stuff does not equal the lives of these people, period, point blank. And the problem is when conservatives get so furious at even the suggestion of looting and burning in response to murder, state-sanctioned murder, it's because they don't see us as human, right? They still see us as property. So property to them does not have the right to destroy other property. And they can't seem to understand that we value life more than the property. So fuck the property, stop killing us. See, if you stop killing us, you'd have your precious property, right? Wouldn't shit get burned? Wouldn't shit get looted? When the police are not killing people, I won't say things are fine, because they're not, because the police are still very much harassing people, trying to trip people up, get them in the system. But when people are not being murdered, stores are not being looted. So let's see if we can put together this very simple equation and solve for X, okay? Super fucking simple. So Tunde, here's what I want to do. That Matt Walsh clip, are you able to pop that up like split screen? And because I want to play it, and I want to make some real-time corrections, because reading some of those 500 comments under Tuesday's show, and then watching Matt Walsh's segment about me, a lot of things made sense. Because Matt Walsh, does he call himself a journalist? Because he seems to have a very difficult problem with doing simple Googles, because he had me all wrong. I mean, wrong from the first sentence out of his mouth. And Matt Walsh, hold on. What's up, Latif? Thank you very much, Latif. Burn it down and leave a dub at the front entrance of the Rebel. Thank you very much, Latif. That is very kind. And thank you very much for your generosity. Matt Walsh. So first of all, let me blame Molly, because Molly had to tell me what a Matt Walsh was. She said, Matt Walsh is talking about you. I said, what is a Matt Walsh? And she showed me Matt Walsh. I said, that looks like a gentleman who has never had his beard soaked. Y'all can take that however you want. I also saw Matt Walsh and I said, wow, he looks like a stock photo for a no pussy getting motherfucker. I said, you go to our stock photo and you type in no pussy getting motherfucker, Matt Walsh's picture is going to show right up. I digress. So unfortunately, whatever he does over at the Daily Caller passes for journalism. Credible. Tunde, let's take a listen, a little gander at Matt Walsh's shoddy journalism, his abysmal analysis, and but at the same time, let me thank Lil Maddie, because I appreciate you knowing who I am, Matt Walsh. I had no fucking clue who you were until Wednesday. So nice to meet you. There's that. Your little troll army failed, homie. Me and the face mob, every time we face off, face it, y'all. Y'all playing basketball. I'm on the block like I'm 8 feet tall. Holla. What's up, Tunde? We ready for this? Run that banner.
BLM activist Kim Brown. I wanted to play this clip for you as well.
Hold on. Stop it right there. Stop it right there. BLM activist Kim Brown. Where did he find that at? For the record, I'm not a member of Black Lives Matter. Do I support the liberation of Black people on this continent? 100%. But what does BLM activist mean? Is that just a catch-all phrase that conservative media use for anybody Black on the left? So if you're Black, you're part of Black Lives Matter. If you're white, you're part of Antifa. It's just lazy. Do your Google, sir. Did you go to college for this? Or you just happen to look up, Daddy knows somebody at the golf club and got you a gig? That's probably what happened. Continue, Tunde. Let's go.
This is her own show, which, this is called Burn It. The name of her podcast or show or YouTube show, whatever it is called Burn It Down. So you kind of get an idea of where she's coming from. And here's what she had to say, making an eloquent case in favor of rioting and looting. Let's listen to that.
Let's go. I support all that. I support them looting the Dollar Tree. I support the looting
Hold
of.
on, pause it. Hold on. Here's my question, y'all. Is Matt Walsh's channel, is it rated G? Is it for people 13 years old and younger? I mean, why is he bleeping out the cuss words? Make it make sense. Are these people tough shits, or are they little snowflakes? They can't handle a little profanity, or is this the point of the show where the conservatives try to act like they are all genteel and refined, and all of a sudden they have more manners than I? They never curse, they never drink, they never swear, they never beat their wives, they never rape. That's a lie. Anyway, the beeps, fucking hilarious. I thought that shit was hilarious. I'm like, is this channel for children? Why is he beeping out the cusses? Make it make sense. Does he watch the kids portion of Netflix? Make it make sense. Go ahead, Tunde. Looting of what other did they loot? Like the advanced auto parts. I remember last year they looted Target. I support all that, loot all that. Do you know why? Because Black people and marginalized and oppressed people could loot every store in this whole country for 200 years. It would not even come close to the debt that America owes us.
Okay. Yeah. So that is full-throated defense of rioting and looting. We hear that all the time from BLM activists. Yes. This is not shocking at all.
What's a BLM activist, Matt?
Not just that they're doing it, but
no, let them go today.
I'm just support it in principle and will explicitly defend it, and will do so publicly without apology.
Yes.
And yet we're still told that the BLM movement is mostly peaceful. A peaceful movement.
Stop that for me right there, Tunde. So when we talk about peace, what's peace? What's peace? Black Lives Matter movement. Is it peaceful movement? I don't know. Are we receiving peace from either the police state or from the state in general? Should we be peaceful? Shout out to Lisa Snowden McCrae. Lisa Snowden McCrae today said something extremely eloquent on Twitter. She said, referring to Lori Lightfoot's comments about remaining calm after the release of the Adam Toledo murder video. Lisa said on Twitter, she said, you know, if you're being told, or if you're telling people to remain calm in the face of a child being murdered, then there's something deeply wrong with you. And I love how these conservatives just act like, you know, they don't understand why people are out in the streets. However, they totally understood why their viewers and supporters showed up in Lansing, Michigan, threatening to kidnap the governor, because the governor was being unreasonable. she was keeping the state closed because of COVID. We don't understand why Black Lives Matter people are out in the streets. No, you don't understand because you choose to ignore. And as Matt will illuminate us just momentarily here in this clip, that he absolutely knows nothing about American history. He knows nothing about the history of white domestic terrorism against Black people. And he is going to, in this clip, tell me that America doesn't owe me anything. Well, sir, I disagree. America owes me plenty. Do you know why? Because America repeatedly burned down the homes and businesses and burned the bodies of Black people by the thousands. Now, that may not mean anything to you, Matt Walsh, stock photo for a no pussy getting motherfucker. But to me, that was opportunities for wealth building, right? Those were opportunities for people to elevate out of their particular economic situation, which therefore would have benefited the generations coming after them. But when great granddaddy had their business burned out, or even worse, was lynched, then what? What do you think that did to generations of one family? Now multiply that out by thousands and extrapolate it out even more. You're affecting tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people for generations to come. But you know, only thing you know about America is we the people, our founding fathers. You don't know shit else. Nothing. Continue, Tunde. Roll that shit.
The fact that they're both looting and rioting and defending it and encouraging it and saying do it more. Yeah, you're not supposed to hear that. Just ignore that part. Of course, what she said there.
Hold on. You're not supposed to hear that. Just ignore that part. I said the shit with my whole chest. You see this? I said it with all the tits. Tits McGee said this with all the tits. What the fuck are you talking about, man? Ain't nobody shirking or running from that shit. And if you paid attention to anything outside of MAGA Twitter, you would see that people necessarily don't say go out and loot as a strategy. But when a 13-year-old child with his hands empty is shot in the chest by police, when a man in Kenosha, Wisconsin is shot in the back several times by police as he's walking away, the rules are out the window, sir. They're gone. Because chances of justice actually coming to pass for a lot of these cases is just not there. And let me say this real quick. I'm extremely glad that the state of Minnesota moved quickly on arresting Officer Kim Potter, I believe her name was, charged her with second-degree manslaughter. We'll see how that goes. We'll see how this Chauvin thing goes. But according to the research arm of Public Citizen, they did a whole series of mapping police violence. And what Public Citizen found is that over 95% of cases where police actually shoot and kill somebody, they are not charged. So where is the justice? The justice is going to be found if we run in there and grab us a TV. Okay. And that's okay if it doesn't make sense to y'all, to the racists, to the conservatives. Like nothing we do makes sense. Y'all didn't understand Colin Kaepernick peacefully taking a knee. Colin Kaepernick's whole livelihood went out the window for that act of civil disobedience, which he did silently, and he did onto himself without a lot of fanfare. The fanfare came from the attention and the vitriol from people like Donald Trump and your ilk, the Daily Caller's viewership. Lost their shit. They acted like Colin Kaepernick came into their living room and took a shit on their couch for taking a knee. And on the other video, on Tuesday's video, guys, it was so many hypocrites in there quoting Martin Luther King Jr., talking about hate. Cannot drive out hate, only light can drive out darkness. And I said, wow, did Martin Luther King say that on his past birthday when he turned, 80 something? Oh, no, he didn't say that on his birthday. Why didn't he say that on his birthday? Oh, because the racist shot and killed him? Oh, got it. So you want me to be like Martin Luther King and preach peace when Martin Luther King was given an assassin's bullet for his nonviolent stance? You understand? Like, there's no acceptable form of protest to racist America from Black and brown and indigenous people. There's nothing we can do. No, we can't sit in. We can't take a knee without motherfuckers losing their shit and threatening our lives. They run that bullshit. I'm getting mad now.
There is wrong on so many levels, and we could spend all day dissecting it and tearing it apart. But
go on.
Let's start with one really basic thing here. That she claims that she is owed a debt from America. She's wrong about that. Okay, America doesn't owe you anything, whatever your race is. You're not owed anything simply for existing.
Yes, we are. Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Okay, we're not in debt to you. Society is not in debt to you.
Absolutely you are.
And again, I don't care what your race is.
Yeah, of course you don't. Yeah, you do.
Society is not in debt to you.
Okay. Look at that analysis.
But if you live like that, with that kind of mentality, then this is what you end up with.
What, an awareness of history,
And if enough people live like that with that mentality, you end up with rioting and looting.
Oh, is that it?
But even if America did, in some mysterious way, collectively owe you a debt, well, why are you taking it out on the Dollar Tree or AutoZone?
Ooh.
How do they owe it to you?
Oh, shit.
The people who work there, many of them minorities. So you're taking it this debt you think really white America owes you. You're taking it out on your own community.
My own community?
The Dollar Tree in Minneapolis, that's not white America that you're tearing down. It's not capitalism that you're tearing down.
You sure?
It is your own community that you're victimizing.
Yes.
People in your community work there. People in your community depend on that place. They go and they shop there. You tore it apart and burned it down. So even on your own logic, it doesn't make any sense.
Oh, jeez.
But there really is no logic at all. So.
Oh my God! All right, cut that shit, Tunde. That's enough. That's enough.
I actually gotta say
that's enough.
Too.
Huh?
So it's funny that he's saying that because those same people he definitely won't give a minimum wage to. He definitely doesn't want them to have.
Can everybody hear you?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Continue. I'm sorry.
No, that was it. Is that he's so concerned about the workers and everybody there, but he would definitely say "fuck you" to a minimum wage. So that shows you exactly how much he gives a shit about them.
First of all, thank you very much for that, Tunde. I appreciate that, y'all. And he's right. I'm sure Matt Walsh is 100% against the federal minimum wage, raising it to $15 an hour, which again, we all know by the time the feds raise it to 15, by the standard cost, by calculate the cost of living and inflation and all that shit, the shit really needs to be $25 an hour minimum wage. But again, you know, these people are content with slavery and people working at slave wages. And I'm so glad Matt asked, what did the Dollar Tree do to you? Thank you very much for that question, Matt. Brother Tunde, if you could please get that Dollar Tree montage queued up. I did a little bit of research into the Dollar Tree, y'all. And first of all, one of our very astute viewers was so kind as to send a link, which I did not put on the doc, but that's okay, because it's very Googleable and very recent. The Dollar Tree just had to settle with employees for wage theft to the tune of $2.5 million because they were underpaying their employees. So when Matt Walsh says that people in our communities work there, they work there and they're having their wages being stolen. And not only are they working there and having their wages being stolen, but Dollar Tree, some of them at least, are operating some stores in a very unsanitary way. The clip that we're about to see comes from both Portland, Oregon, and outside of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And the Dollar Tree, y'all, has been a little dirty out here in more ways than one. Tunde, if we could please check out that Dollar Tree montage.
We looked through the windows today and saw workers with masks and gloves cleaning up store shelves. The Dollar Tree in Northeast Portland shut down last week after a KGW investigation found evidence of a rodent infestation. Food labels were torn, food packaging was ripped apart, and store shelves were peppered with rodent feces. State food inspectors were called in and demanded immediate action. And today we learn a second state agency is involved. Oregon OSHA, which oversees workplace safety, has opened an investigation after Dollar Tree employees complained of nausea, lightheadedness, and headaches due to exposure to dead mice, rodent urine, and feces. Additionally, store workers say the company hired an exterminator, but employees were asked to clean up the rodents. Last week, the company told KGW, the safety of our associates and customers is our first priority, and we take situations like this seriously. We've closed our store and are working with pest control services and contractors to completely resolve the issue.
Allegheny County Health Department shut down the Dollar Tree here in East Liberty after finding several violations. And records show this is not the first time the store got a failing grade.
And that's really sad because a lot of people utilize this store for, their daily food.
Two signs are in the window. One handwritten by store management saying store closed until further notice, and an official one in red saying closed by the order of the Allegheny County Health Department, indicating conditions pose serious health risk. Adrian Smith didn't know the store had been closed.
I was going to get some balloons and some other small items, for a little party.
And you found out they're closed?
Yes, I was very shocked to find that out.
The health department shut down the store Monday after finding unsanitary conditions. There were rodent droppings on shelves and in the back storage area. Bags of candy, cheese puffs, and popcorn had been chewed open by mice and the product eaten.
Wow. That's kind of serious right there.
So did you shop in the store?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you notice anything funky when you went in there?
No, it's just everything moves so quickly off the shelf. So But that's giving me something to think about.
Back in March, twice inspectors were here, finding the same conditions and a strong odor of sewage in the storage area.
Yeah, I smelled that before.
I called workers inside the store, but no one would comment. According to the health department, Dollar Tree can request a follow-up inspection 24 hours after the sign was placed in the window. If no request is made, the health department will conduct another inspection in 10 days. Will you go back into the shop should they reopen?
Not this one.
Yeah. That was CBS Pittsburgh there. The clip prior to that was from KGW News out in Portland, Oregon. And so, Matt Walsh, don't ask us. First of all, you talking about a community you ain't never been to, bro. You ain't never been to the hood of Minneapolis. You ain't never been to the hood of Chicago. You ain't never been to the hood of Philadelphia. I don't even know where you're located, but I know wherever you are, your scary ass probably don't show up where it's mostly Black and brown people. So please don't speak on areas where you've never even been. Don't speak about people you've never even talked to ask them what their condition is. And speaking of Dollar Tree, y'all, I'm about to drop this in the chat real quick. It's going to come up under Burn It Down with Kim Brown because that's what I'm logged into over here. First of all, hold on. Before I do that, River Run, thank you so much, dear, for your generous donation. I appreciate you. MD, what's cracking, pimp? Thank you very much for that super chat boost. And somebody else hit us and that joint just went away. I'm apologizing, but whoever sent us some bread, I'm so appreciative. I'm about to drop this link in the chat real quick, y'all. And y'all, I mean, you don't have to look at it. I'm just gonna tell you what it is real quick. So what that link I just dropped in the chat is the earnings call, the call of Dollar Tree executives for the ending of the third quarter of 2020. And you don't have to listen to long of it. Really, in the first, I'm going to say 5 to 7 minutes, I think it's a CFO or somebody in charge of the money for Dollar Tree lays out how exceptional the company did over 2020 and talked about earnings year over year. From 2019 to 2020, Dollar Tree made hand over foot. Now, is Dollar Tree paying a living wage to its workers? Absolutely fucking not. So I say again, in a city near you, if the police shoot and kill somebody unjustifiably, and you feel so inclined, and you see the Dollar Tree, you know what to do. And listen, they're probably going to take that claim and be like, say, she's inciting violence. Well, let's talk about inciting violence, shall we? Since Matt doesn't seem to think that America owes me anything, and I'm assuming when he says me, he means me as in me and the rest of the blacks, right? They don't understand why Black people want and demand reparations. Well, sit back, y'all, get comfy. We got some stories to tell y'all real quick. Let me pull these up. First of all, the amount that has been stolen and plundered from Black America alone by white America. And again, for the burn it down people, I know I don't have to not all white people, y'all. Y'all know better. Y'all know what kind of time we on over here. We love allies who are white. We hate white supremacy and those who uphold white supremacy. So if you are white and you do not uphold white supremacy, come on home, baby. We got a spot for you. But if you are white and you uphold white supremacy and you want to very conveniently ignore the generations, the hundreds of years of domestic terrorism that was inflicted upon Black communities by white people, okay? And I know racist white people like to think that it's like a both sides kind of thing. Like they were racist to us and we was racist to them a little bit. That's not how history went, actually. There are no documented instances of a mob of Black people going to a white town, lynching white people, burning their businesses, and burning their homes. If you have a record of such an incident, I would like to know about it. In the interim, let me tell you about a couple incidences, and just a couple, because there are hundreds of such incidences where Black people were on the receiving end of white mob violence and had all the wealth they had accumulated dispossessed of them immediately. Many times they had their lives taken from them immediately. A lot of times off of dubious reasons, dubious circumstances, made up shit. The case of Emmett Till, you know, I would love to hear the reciprocal version. And again, this is not necessarily a tit for tat, y'all, but racists need to understand that, for example, what happened to Adam Toledo, what happened to Tamir Rice, although it did happen to Peyton Ham, but they don't give a shit about Peyton Ham. But this often, it rarely happens to white children. I'm not going to say it doesn't ever. We just saw an example this week. But it rarely happens to white children at the same rate that it happens to Black and brown children. And this is well documented. So we're going to take a quick peek back in time, y'all, for just a couple of instances when a white mob destroyed the wealth, the businesses, the homes of Black people. Now, the difference between what happened in instances where white mobs destroyed Black capital is that there was no insurance for the Black business owner to recoup, right? Dollar Tree and Target got insurance out the ass. I don't know what the franchise situation is with Dollar Tree. And someone was like, well, what if the franchise is minority owned? Okay, they got insurance. They got insurance, period, point blank. You don't get to open a store in the 21st century and you not have insurance. But that was not always the case. Insurance was not always available to Black business owners. And I want to, Tunde, let's start closer to home. Hit me with that F1. Hit me with that F1. You guys probably remember this. We had the producer and the director of the documentary called Wilmington on Fire join us, along with author Blake Hilsiah. The producer and director of Wilmington on Fire, his name is Christopher Everett, and Blake Hilsiah joined us to talk about what happened in Wilmington, North Carolina in 1898, the first ever successful coup d'etat on American soil. And the reason we even had this conversation, actually, we had this conversation prior to January 6th, which was, sort of serendipitous on that respect. But this is not taught to you in schools. Do you think Matt Everett ever heard of the Wilmington coup of 1898, where a biracial government was elected and the white racist power structure decided that that wasn't going to happen? And they turned violent and they murdered dozens of people. They burned their houses, they burned their business, and they exiled them. They were not allowed to return to Wilmington. And the white power structure just swooped on in and resumed business as usual and made sure that this little anecdote was removed from the history books, and ignorant shitheads like Matt Walsh has never heard of it. And that's why he doesn't think America doesn't owe us anything, because he is at a knowledge deficit of the true history of this country. Tunde, let's talk about Wilmington on Fire.
I said Wilmington was on this rise to be a major city in the South, but the massacre really stunted its growth. And I go to Wilmington all the time. I met my wife doing this film, and Wilmington's like a second home to me. And it's just shocking just to see what the possibilities could have been for that city. You see what I'm saying? So this white supremacy movement and this coup, it didn't even help, the average white person, because the city the growth of it just stunted. And you still see those effects to this day, especially with the African-American population.
American patriotism was framed as the purview of white supremacy. And that to be white was to be American, and everyone else was excluded from that picture of what being truly American and patriotic was. And And we see, lots of echoes of this in current politics. In fact, there was a force out in the streets leading up to the election, actively threatening and fomenting fear in the Black community called the Red Shirts. Anybody see red hats in that? And they would go house to house and threaten people, often beat the Black members of the family who were able to vote, because remember, at this time, only Black males were able to vote. So any Black male they ran into, they beat or intimidated or threatened. The white community actually even raised money to purchase a machine gun, which was state of the art, right out of the Spanish-American War. And they would demonstrate it to Black leaders in order to let them know that they had also military might on their side.
Wilmington, North Carolina, 1898. That video is on our channel. If you're interested in hearing about the coup, the first successful coup d'etat on American soil happened in Wilmington in 1898 when a biracial government was elected. And the racists said, nope, how about we just kill all you niggas and all you nigga lovers and take your shit? Where's the compensation in that? Do you think that life insurance policies were paid out on the murdered people? Do you think that their children and their descendants received any sort of compensation for their business being stolen from them, for their lives being stolen from them? Watch your mouth, Matt Walsh. Ask Nas, he don't want it with Hov. Don't come from me, dog. I never heard of you before Wednesday, and here you are with my name all in your mouth, loud and wrong. I'm not a Black Lives Matter activist. I'm a broadcaster who happens to be Black and a woman, and who happens at this point in her life not to give a fuck about what you or any other racist or any other man, for that matter, has got to say about the shit that I say or the shit that I think. Okay? Because me and you, we are not on the same level, bro. We just not. And you have all the power of being white male and moneyed, and you want to send a troll army after me. That's cool. I ain't tripping. But let me give you another history lesson, Matt, since you don't seem to know shit about America. What's up? Where are my Illinois people at? Where are my St. Louis people at? Where are my Chicago people at? Let's talk about what happened in Springfield, Illinois. Just about 100 years ago. And I guess someone like Matt Walsh or the people from the Daily Caller like, oh, that was 100 years ago. Oh, well, what were your people doing 100 years ago? I see. Oh, voluntarily getting on a boat and coming to America. Oh, y'all weren't put in bondage and had your children sold off. Oh, I see. Tune, pop up E4 real quick, the article, and then we'll get into their clip. First of all, if you do a Google search of race riots, which are misnamed, first of all, because the name race riot implies that there were races fighting against each other, which I suppose in some instances there were. But be rest 100% assured that the instigation, the antagonistic act that began the conflict between the Black community and the white community was originated by the whites, but blamed Black people for some innocuous slight. Whistled at a white woman, looked at the white person the wrong way, didn't get out the way when they said, get out my way, nigger. Get the fuck out my face, man. Tunde, hit that Springfield, Illinois video, y'all. Let me tell y'all what happened to Springfield, Illinois.
Behind me is the old Illinois State Capitol, the building where Abraham Lincoln proclaimed in 1858 that a house divided cannot stand, and also the place where Barack Obama announced his historic candidacy for President of the United States. This is also the scene of a terrible race riot in 1908.
We had a riot, and the riot was a terrible thing. People died, families were broken up. Businesses were destroyed, homes were destroyed.
For 2 long days, thousands of white residents rampaged the streets, outraged after 2 black men were arrested on unrelated charges of the murder of a white man and a false accusation of rape by a white woman.
As the evening and the day progressed, the mob got bigger and bigger and bigger, and they then took their vengeance out on the area of town called the Levee and the Badlands, which was mostly where African Americans lived and had their businesses.
And the violence didn't end there. 2 African American men with no connection to the alleged crimes were lynched.
So, according to the historical record, the race riots, pardon me, let me rephrase that. The Springfield white domestic terrorists explosion killed 2 innocent people at least who had nothing to do with nothing. Chances are the 2 that had been accused of crimes also had nothing to do with nothing. But, you know, as is the case in 21st century America, all you have to do is be black to be guilty. You don't actually have to commit a crime. MD, what is going on, man? Did you get your taxes? You got your tax refund, MD. You over here blessing us. MD says, when Kim and Tunde talk about the state you live in, shout out to my North Carolina people. Yes, I am here religiously watching Kim Brown. Love to North Carolina. Listen, what's up? What's up, North Cat? What's up, North Cat? Hey, I need y'all to hop in Sankofa Brown's mentions on Twitter, the angry sociologist. You better tell Tory Brown to get his light bright ass back on the show ASAPly. Not yesterday, today, nigga. No, I'm just no, Tory's been busy. He's trying to smash out that PhD joint, and he gonna get back with us when we can. It is all love, sending love, going out to Sankofa Brown. We love you, sweetheart. But getting back to me being pissed off at some saltine having the audacity to put my name in his mouth, not sounding right, first of all, not even willing to do his Googles, second of all, and it's really not a big shocker as to why there are so many misinformed comments over there on the Tuesday show's video. Have y'all seen that shit? It's over like 500 comments under that. And oh my gosh, y'all. Let's see. I've been called a CUNT, and the only reason I'm not saying the word out loud is because it bothers my mother to hear that someone has called me that. Now, that's not I've been called a CUNT several times by white men. Oh, and FYI, white men, you might as well save that CUNT slur for black women, nigga, because I don't even know what the fuck that is and could care less. So that's some white people shit I'm going to stay the fuck out of. But anyway, I know it's bad, but I don't even give a fuck what it is. And I don't care what it is. Anyway, they was over there calling me a CUNT. They was calling me a ghetto whore. They was calling me a moron, an idiot, a Biden supporter, a terrorist. They over there trying to report the video for terrorists, saying that I was inciting violence. I mean, the levels of projection. And let's not even forget the people who threatened to come to my house to loot my house when I responded to them, you know, do you live in the Dollar Tree, bro? Like the levels in which certain aspects of white America tie their identity up in corporations that are also fucking them over. This shit is baffling, bro. Like I said, I don't have a problem with Target being looted if black people and brown people are murdered in the street by the state. I don't have a problem with Dollar Tree being looted if black and brown people and indigenous people are murdered, shot down in cold blood in the state. I don't have a problem with it. You understand? I don't have a problem with it. I do not have a problem with it. Last history lesson for today, y'all. And this one comes from 60 Minutes from 1983. Who remembers Ed Bradley? Raise your hand if you remember Ed Bradley. You got to be an old ass like myself to remember Ed Bradley. But this is young Ed Bradley. Ed Bradley went to Rosewood, Florida. Now I'm curious. Hold on, y'all. Are y'all old enough to have seen the movie Rosewood? Some of y'all is, and some of y'all is not. Now this is like 4 minutes, and this is going to be the last one of these we play because we lost a lot of time before. And I'm gonna double check with Tunde and see if we're still going to do the AMA after the show. We may not be able to, but if we're not, we will reschedule it like super quick. But okay. Let's hit that Rosewood clip, Tunde, and y'all. And I see in the comments, and all of y'all are right. A bunch of thank you, Dr. Claw, a bunch of bitch ass niggas. What is CAN? Is that crack ass niggas? Dr. Claw 77. What I know what BANs are. What are CANs, Dr. Claw? Hit me to the lingo, please. Hip auntie, make me hip. Rosewood, Florida. This is going to be the last one of these historical clips. And again, y'all, there are hundreds of these stories of Black towns being plundered and destroyed by mobs of angry whites. And I'm trying to understand the level of cognitive dissonance that you can say that you have love for this country. And if you love this country, I would assume you know this country. Like, do you have any knowledge of America beyond we the people and the Civil War? Like, what the fuck? Like, so many people in them comments, like, swore to God, like, oh, they got this freedom in 1865. Motherfucker, do you think the whites just said, come on in? We got jobs, we got homes. Why don't you come move next to me? Freely, newly freed slave? Absolutely not. Come on. We are living in two different realities, baby. I live in the one in the actual real world. I don't live in the snowflake world. Tunde, let's tell these people about Rosewood, Ed Bradley, y'all. This is vintage Ed Bradley from 1983. Tunde, take it away.
Edith Foster was 16 years old at the time. She remembers seeing the few hundred white men of Sumner joined by others from surrounding counties, even from out of state. She remembers how they grew into a mob seeking revenge.
If he hadn't ever went in on this white lady, well, there'd never been nothing to it.
It's not known for sure who attacked Fannie Taylor. Some whites say it was Sylvester Carrier, a young, strong-willed black man from Rosewood. Some blacks say the attacker was a white man. They say it was Fannie Taylor's boyfriend. But a lot of people tend to think the attacker was a black convict who had escaped from a nearby chain gang. Whoever he was, he touched off a week-long killing party.
They just, a bad crew come in here, and they just wiped it off of the map.
That night, around about 9 o'clock or 8:30, there they come in a car.
They kept looking for this Sylvester, but they didn't seem to find him. And then they went back up there that night and to talk to his mother.
Calling for my aunt saying, Sarah, Sarah, Sarah. And so my aunt didn't say nothing because she was scared too.
And that's when all the shooting began, you see.
They went to shooting all in the house, all upstairs in the windows.
These colored folks, they were ready for it.
And I was sitting right between his legs. And he had the gun over to my right shoulder.
This was Sylvester?
Yes. I got down under him, and these old white people busted the door down. When they busted the door down, that's where he dropped them. He just dropped everyone come to the door.
He shot them?
Yeah.
Well, they killed Mr. Anders before he got to the house. They loaded him with a buckshot right here. Killed him dead. They had to leave him there.
At least 2 white men were killed that night, forcing the mob to retreat. It was then that the black women and children, 12 or 13 of them, ran from the bullet-riddled Carrier home and into the woods. Minnie Lee Langley, 8 years old at the time, ran with them.
We had a aunt with us, so scrappy. She was just like a hen with a nest of biddies. She taken us to the woods, kept us out in the woods. She kept us out in the woods almost a week.
There's swamps out there.
Well, we stayed in there. Took her like a soldier and stayed out there in the woods.
You went through those swamps?
Yes, we went all out in the woods. And she built a little bit of fire for us to stay warm because it was so cold at night.
In the morning, the mob returned, several hundred strong. Inside the Carrier home, they found Sarah, Sylvester's mother. She was dead. They also found another body, a black man. Some people say it was Sylvester, but no one really knows for sure. What we do know is what happened next. The mob set the Carrier home on fire, and they watched it burn. And then that mob grew in size, it grew in anger, and it became even more violent.
You ain't never seen a mob like that.
Fred Kirkland was a teenager when he saw the mob rampaging through Rosewood.
They went wild. There was 1,000 to 1,500 people there by that time, and they're coming in from every direction. And they was crazy. They give the high sheriff and the deputy 5 minutes to get out of sight and not come back.
They told the sheriff and the deputy to get out of town and not come back?
Get out of there. Give them 5 minutes to get out of sight.
And what did the sheriff and the deputy do?
They left there.
What did the sheriff and the deputy do when the angry white mob of several hundred told the sheriff and the deputy that they had 5 minutes to leave? Did the sheriff and the deputy try to make arrests? Nope. The sheriff and the deputy got the fuck out of Dodge. What does that sound like? Doesn't that sound like January 6th? Doesn't that sound like what happened down at the U.S. Capitol? An angry white mob showed up and the police was stuck on stupid. They didn't know what the fuck to do. Y'all, actually coming up in the next week or so, we are going, I think we should do a whole show on what the revelations of the January 6th insurrection investigations and subsequent arrests have yielded. Now we know that a good many of these patriotic young fellows have been let out on bond, and they are not being treated to the same standard as Black and brown people who are facing similar charges. So there's that, but that's a whole nother conversation. But as you just saw, 3 pretty decent examples there. Was it 3? I can't count. Rosewood, the Springfield, Illinois massacre, and did we talk about East St. Louis? We talked about a third. But y'all, really, you can close your eyes, take a dart, throw it at the map of the United States, and you are going to land somewhere where either Black people or indigenous people were dispossessed, flat out murdered, massacred, removed from their lands, stripped of, any ownership to the land or to the natural or mineral rights on said land. I mean, this is still happening to our indigenous brothers and sisters right fucking now. The big mining giant Rio Tinto is trying to move the Apache, well, not trying to move the Apache, but trying to get at, I believe it's copper, like a shit ton of copper down in the Southwest. I think Rio Tinto is an Australian mining company. This is sacred Apache ground. And the United States government is trying to negotiate with the Apache and with the international mining giant about, do the Apache have rights to the land that they have been on for thousands of years, because it's in question because there's money involved. So get the whole fuck out of here, Matt Walsh, you uneducated lack of thoughtful analysis. And again, just an awful journalist. You're terrible. The Daily Caller is, listen, I wish the Daily Caller was actually a print publication so I could wipe my ass with it, because that's about what it's worth. Okay, maybe I'll pull up the Daily Caller on my iPhone 6 and run it through my butt crack. For the principle. Keep my name out your mouth, bro. Don't retweet me no more. Don't send your trolls after me, because your arms are too short to box with God, Holmes. Too short. Speaking of being too short, just Tunde, FYI, did that last thing, is that still not a thing? Wonderful. Okay, guys, we're getting ready to sign up here. Oh, Tunde, can we still do the AMA? Do you have to do clickbaity after this? Oh, wonderful. Okay, so, Patreoners, we're going to be headed over to Patreon for the AMA. Oh, it should be a fun AMA. Because trust me, I'm going to tell y'all some stuff on the AMA that I have not said today on the show. So if you want to get in on this, go to patreon.com/BIDWKB. You can get in for the low at $2, man. $2 gets you into the discussion, into the AMA. But so we have 64 people still here, and it's like my crew. So I'm so glad that who is in here is in here. I need y'all to listen up, okay? So as a result of the viral video that got picked up amongst conservative spaces and passed around and directed a whole bunch of bullshit in my direction, I got an interesting invitation to appear on a prominent conservatives program. I have not yet responded to this invitation because I wanted to run it by the crew. I wanted to run it by Tunde and Genevieve and Molly because I know the show says burn it down with Kim Brown, but this does not happen without Tunde, Genevieve, and Molly. So what Tunde, Genevieve, and Molly have to say, I take extremely, extremely seriously. And I know at the end of the day, it's my decision, but I wanted their input. And so I can tell you guys that we are not all in agreement on me appearing. And from my perspective, I'm on the fence, but I'm leaning towards yes. So we're about to play a clip from the person who has extended this invitation. And let me set this up for y'all. So this clip that we're about to see is really my only reference for this person. I didn't even know this person's name. I didn't even know this person was actually popular until Wednesday again, because I don't keep up with what the fuck conservatives be talking about. You know why would I do that? But when I had seen this video, and I'm sure you all have seen this video because this was a very, very, very well circulated clip when it went around, I just thought this was somebody's like recovering alcoholic uncle, or like formerly, somebody who used to have like a crack addiction. Like this is just the vibe that person gives me when I see them and when I hear them talk. Now that might not actually be the case. He's giving me very much old alcoholic uncle vibes. But this is important. Who said that? Kim is a Russian influencer. Gene, who's by Gene? Anyway, but here's what I need y'all to do. We're going to play this clip. Y'all are going to recognize this person. And then when we come back out of the clip, if you guys in the chat can let me know by either typing good look or bad look, because I could give a fuck about this person. I could give a fuck about this person's audience. The point of the matter of being on YouTube, you all know it's a numbers game, right? And even though I got a wee bit of a shitstorm from the conservative trolls this week, them motherfuckers drove my engagement considerably, okay? So I would only appear on this person's show really to leverage their platform for clicks and shit, right? I could give a fuck. And let me see. And we are not going to make this a habit, by the way. Anyway, hold on. I'm getting ahead of myself. So we're going to play the clip. You guys tell me in the comments by either saying good look or bad look if you think I should go on this person's program. Tunde, can we take a look at that clip, please?
Today is about sluts.
Edith Foster was 16 years old at the time. She remembers.
How you doing?
I'm fine, Jesse.
What's your name?
I'm not going on 60 Minutes, Tunde.
Are you a slut, Sam?
Jesse. Yes, we are all sluts. You're a slut. All these dudes behind you are sluts. Your cameraman's a slut. Your PA's a slut. And your mic's a slut.
And what made you a slut?
Because I own my body. My body is not a political playground. It's not a place for legislation. It's mine and it's my future. And
how old are you?
Grown.
And so you sleep around with a lot of men?
No, actually I'm a virgin.
You're a virgin?
Yeah.
So you're not a slut?
Yes, you can be a slut. Because a slut is not what you made it, Jesse. A slut is what I made it. A boss, getting money, taking the mic, turning life around, taking over Hollywood.
So you are still a virgin, but yet you call yourself a slut.
It wouldn't matter. I'm saying it doesn't matter if I'm a virgin. It doesn't matter what a woman's sexual history is. A slut is just a word that you and your fellow penises made. A slut. Your mama's a slut. Your grandma's a slut. Everybody.
Is your mother a slut?
No, but yours is.
Your mother's not a slut?
No.
When you say every woman's a slut?
Everybody.
Well, why your mother is not a slut?
You are a slut. Not my mother in particular is not a slut, but a slut is a word for anybody who's owning their sexuality, turning up, and not letting Jesse twist their answers around.
So let me ask, I noticed are you dressed slutty today?
No, I'm dressed like a woman.
What made you decide to come out looking like this? You look like a slut. What made you do it?
You look like a slut.
What made you dress?
What made you dress like this?
No, just answer that question. What made you dress?
I dress like this because I can dress whatever I want to. Period. But what made you dress like this?
Let me ask you, do you believe?
You put on this striped shirt?
Let me ask you, do you believe in God?
Yes, Jesse. I believe in God.
Would God want you to be a slut?
God would want me to be whatever I want to be.
Would he want you to be a slut?
He would want me to be whatever I want to be.
How about a slut?
Whatever I want to be.
And why would he want you to be a slut?
He would want me to be whatever I want to be because God believes in choice. And you should know that, Jesse. That's why you're allowed to wear this lame-ass shirt.
Would your parents be happy to know that you're a slut?
My parents would be happy to know that I'm a free woman on a billboard in Times Square in Soho for Airy Real because we take back the woman form and we ain't lame dudes like Jesse wearing striped shirts.
Thank you.
That's good. That's good. That's enough. That is enough of that nigga right there. Get him out of here. Hey, I'm looking in the comments. I'm not getting a consensus here, guys. y'all sounded like me today. Y'all be having Molly. Like I'm seeing some yeses, I'm seeing some no's. So and again, I don't even know if this invitation still stands. So, but I had sort of set an internal deadline of Saturday that I would reply in the affirmative or in the negative by Saturday. And he looked like Ike Turner. I'm just saying, listen, Nat, you better stop it. First of all, y'all are killing young Jesse in these comments. And thank y'all very much. Listen. Let me explain something to you. Maybe I shouldn't divulge my strategy. I don't give a fuck, y'all. This nigga arms too short to box with God. But I will keep something a buck with y'all. I don't know if I can handle him like old girl. MD said in the comments that she is my hero. Yes. I mean, queen. I mean, she just, just owned that nigga, twisted his little goofy ass back up into a pretzel and then sent him on his way. I mean, that, ladies and gentlemen, was a performance of how to handle a BAN, as Dr. Claus 77, or a CAN, really, as Dr. Claus 77 said in the chat. And I asked y'all to say good look or bad look, and I see y'all was way more wordier than good look or bad look. So I'm gonna have to go back through this chat and see if I can run like a quick tally and decide. Now, trust me, I didn't even know this guy was popular. Again, because I used to follow conservative shit, for shits and giggles, just to see what they was talking about. It's too ignorant. Like it's too far gone. They are too deep in the abyss for me to even entertain any of their ideas and or conversations. But I assure you, I would not go on that show to debate that person at all. Because I mean, what the fuck? You see how sideways he talked to Shorty? Like that's my only point of reference for him. Like, oh, you're just disrespectful as fuck to black women, bro. Like, so I got to deal with you accordingly. I got to go in there with the mentality that you already ain't shit. So I don't know. He's a wing ding. What's that? Bad look. He's a wing ding. Fuck him. You should interview her. Climate real. You don't know how on to something you are, because when I first got the invitation, I was ready to accept. But so that young lady, she has a website. I think oh my God, now I'm so mad. It's like by J or something, BYJAI. I may have that all wrong, but she has a website and she sells t-shirts of her image from that encounter with Jesse. And if I were to go on his show, I wanted to like wear that t-shirt, but the t-shirt takes 1 to 2 weeks to ship. So I don't know what kind of time frame he's on, or she, or whatever's on, but we still haven't made a decision. So I'm seeing more bad looks. Yeah. I'm half and half, Rain to Sud. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna go back through this chat and do a little tabulation and see how the votes shake out. But guys, first of all, I cannot thank you all enough everybody who hopped up in the comments, who liked the video, you know, who said something slick to a troll on the Tuesday show. Thank you all, man. Like, people stepped up and stepped up in a big way for me. And this is not my first time experiencing the wrath of angry online racists. But, you know, members of my family were very active in the civil rights movement in some very prominent ways. And what I dealt with this week was a walk in the fucking park. You know why? Because all that shit that people were talking in the comments, all the shit that people were saying on Twitter, they were saying that shit from hundreds of miles away from a keyboard, right? In the civil rights era, they were saying that shit to my family's face on the streets. My family received death threats, calls in the middle of the night, all kinds of, you know, saying like the most vile things, threatening their lives. Pickup trucks full of white boys, armed to the teeth with shotguns and rifles, hanging out the windows, driving by the house. I mean, the shit was real, right? I haven't dealt with a smidgen of that. And for that, I am extremely grateful. And I'm so appreciative that there's a community over here at Burn It Down with Kim Brown that y'all gonna stick up for me when the shit hits the fan. So I can't thank you all enough for your comments, for your likes, for your tweets, for your super chat donations, for your patronage. So I appreciate you all so much for standing up. And we've been doing this for 2 hours now. So we are about to head over to Patreon. Y'all, I didn't even roll my weed. I was so upset. Wait, that's the empty weed. Hold on. Hold on. Let me find the full weed. Is it the, yeah, buddy. And motherfuckers was trying to talk shit about my green, yo. They're like, oh, that's some shake. I said it was shake. And I pulled it out. Now, this is not the shake. Look at that. Look at that. I don't even know what that is, but it smells amazing and it smokes even better. So if you're down to do the AMA over on Patreon, give us like 10-ish minutes. Let me go get something to drink. Let me let the dogs out. And yeah, I got some stuff to talk about over on Patreon that I didn't get into here, but that's all well and good. So I want to thank you all again for being amazing. Thank you for watching us grow, helping us grow, and for not being here for the bullshit. And thank you so much for your super chats. On behalf of Tunde, Genevieve, and Molly, thank y'all for supporting this endeavor. This is independent Black-owned media. This is Black women media. This is marginalized people media. We are not here to worry about being respectable, about what other people are going to think about our perspectives and what we have to say about things. No, this is 21st century, nigga. My people worked and died too much for me to hold my tongue at my big age. Shit. My mama said, she said, don't you think you need to tone it down a little bit? I said, no, absolutely not. And of course, my mother and I were fine. But I said to her, I said, Mama, I said, I mean, am I supposed to kowtow to white racists like my whole life? Like, am I supposed to hold my tongue like my whole life? Like my whole life? No. My parents, grandparents, great-grandparents, and ancestors did not go through what they went through for me to be here in this form with this mind, with this mouth, and be silent about it. So no, we're just going to keep moving forward. And thank you all so much. Chuck Diesel, what's up, Pepin? Alicia, I love you. What's up, Latif? What's up, Gene? What's up, Rainin Desud, Corny the SLP, Pookie Wood, all my folks, man. Y'all my people out here, dog. So anyway, 10-ish minutes. We'll see you over on the Patreon for the AMA. Drop your questions under the post and I will get to them. So you guys, please be safe out here. COVID, definitely still jumping on people with numerous strains. We got remixes of COVID out here floating around. I do not want it to jump on you. So please wear your mask, wash your hands, social distance, try to stay safe out here because we still are very much in a pandemic. I love you all so much. See y'all later. Bye-bye.